this video, we're going to finally take this 86 6.9 diesel we got from Texas and see if it'll run. So I'll give you guys a look around the truck and then we'll start messing with it and see if we can get this thing to run, which I'm fairly hopeful that it will run. So shouldn't be too hard to get fired off and going, and then got quite a bit of it to actually piece back together. So let's get into it. All right, so there's a couple videos with this truck. Some of you guys may have seen them already. I'll show you again in this video because I feel like a lot more people will see this video, means it will be a will it run video. This is a 86 Ford 6.9 diesel, 1 ton. I'm assuming it probably was not a factory dually. Means the rear axle has spacers, it's not a dually axle. The front axle's a single tire axle. I assume someone put the bed on later. And it does have cab lights, which is a dually thing, but that doesn't mean for sure it was or wasn't. It means both axles are single tire. I'm gonna assume it was converted to a dually. It's got a 6.9 diesel in it. And let me check what the miles are here. Oh yeah, it's also an automatic, 4-wheel drive. Looks like 130,000 miles. There's somewhat of the interior. Needs a dash. I don't know, we might go a newer upgraded dash in this thing from like a 11 or something like that truck. Maybe factory, I don't know yet. Repaint the door panels. Plan on fixing this one up somewhat good. Maybe we're going with some black leather seats on the inside, or whatever they are normally. Get some bigger tires on it, some 35 by 12s, hopefully. Think it would look a little better. I think there's some stuff piled up against this door. Not too bad. There's the dash pad and headliner. Truck might have been a hot shot truck, I don't know. Got some nice backup lights, got 3 hitches, has aftermarket exhaust on it with a exhaust brake, has a Sidewinder turbo on it, has an aftermarket transfer case, has a power slider rear window. So at some point someone cared about this truck and did a lot to it. Someone bent the hood on it, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Go ahead and show you guys the engine on it. Seats look all right, but I'm not a big fan of them. Well, here it is. I need to attach that valve cover. I'll probably try to get it running off a bucket of diesel first. Got to put the fuel filter on. Got to put the injection pump in it. I'm gonna put some I can't remember the name. I think it's R&D fuel return line rails. There's the Sidewinder turbo. Missing a couple parts off the front end and radiator. But that's under the hood. Needs batteries. Got some brand new batteries here, some jugs of oil, filters, fuel. So don't exactly know what I'm gonna get started on first. Probably the valve cover, then the fuel rails. So I'm gonna get to working on that. All right, I kind of got my bearings and looked at everything. I bolted on that valve cover because I had that loose to see if there was rust on the rocker arms, because there was water in the bottom end of this block. I think like 2 gallons or something. So I want to make sure that it just wasn't from condensation over time and that it rusted up the rockers. And they look clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it. I need to finish pulling the injector return lines, and then I'm gonna install new ones. What I have here to install are the R&D IDI Performance, I think is the name of the brand, but it's R&D and he makes parts for IDIs. He has these 1-piece fuel return rails that I believe they're billet aluminum. It's real good stuff. I really like his products. I would highly recommend getting these. They just are a lot more of a better system than the original rubber and plastic cups. He also has injectors and injection pumps and maybe a few other things, and that stuff you probably ought to spend a little bit of money on. And he's an individual that does it himself, I believe, and I believe it's just a way better product than you could get anywhere else, and it's actually not much more expensive. So not sponsored by him, but it makes a great product, so buy from him. I believe it's R&D IDI specialist, I believe. But you'll see him online. He's the only one that sells these, I believe. So I'm gonna pull those off and put those new ones on. Okay, so I have the old rails off, kind of cleaned up. I sprayed brake clean on them. I'm letting that dry up, then I'm gonna spray them with some WD-40. I put all my O-rings in Vaseline. There's the fuel rails right there. I'm gonna go ahead and install them. I'm not gonna run you guys through how to install them because I have a video out on that, and there's also several other videos. So if you guys want to see that, you can watch one of them videos, but I'm just gonna slap them on here. Alright, so I got the fuel injector return rails on. Now I just need to see if I can find all the hardware for the pump and stab the pump in there. Get it buttoned up. Well, I have the injection pump fully on and bolted up. There's a few things like that tach sensor is missing. There's a lot of stuff not hooked up. And last time I tried to mess with this, it was not getting power to the cab, so it wouldn't turn the pump on. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. Stick a bucket of fuel on the ground with an electric pump pushing to the mechanical pump. I'm gonna put a filter on this thing, and I'm gonna run some jumper wires to the pump to kick the pump on, and I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to fire off just sitting like this. And if it fires and runs, then I'm gonna start piecing it back together correctly. Alright, so I have this bucket with the electric fuel pump hooked up to the mechanical fuel pump. I'm going to see if it pumps out where the filter is. Yep, made a good mess of that. So I'm going to throw a filter on there. Alright, so I threw a filter on there. At some point, it should start coming out of the injectors because I have them cracked, or at least out of the injector lines. Might take a minute to fill up that filter and start coming out of the injector lines. All that oil is from a rust hole in the oil filter because it was full of water. Alright, so I couldn't get it started. So just to try to get some extra oomph, I wrapped a strap around the crank and hooked it to the pickup. I've done this before, it's worked. Let's see if it'll get it this time. Well, it was running. I'm gonna say that's not a good way to run, but it did run. Lots of smoke, lots of noises. I'm gonna say that did not sound like good running. So it may be good, it may be bad. To me, it seems like it has a lot of smoke. I'm thinking maybe there's a good bit of crankcase pressure, and it ran very fast. I don't know why it idled so fast. I'm going to assume with the way it sounded and the crankcase pressure, I'm going to assume maybe it has a valve that's sticking. Maybe one of the lifters won't compress. So it's leaking a lot of oil. It was super nasty. I already have the oil and filters, so I think I'll go ahead and change the oil and filter and try to start this again and go from there on it. On second thought, I figured it out. It has a big hole in the side of the block. And this didn't just now happen because the metal piece is gone. You can easily tell it didn't throw a rod right then and blow the side of the block out. But at some point in its life, it has thrown a rod and blown the side of the block out. I'm going to guess that's probably why it was parked and why it had so much water in it, because it's not even here, nowhere where I started it, but there's a big old chunk of the block out. So this motor ain't any good. I'm not gonna mess with it any further. It may get another motor in it and it may become something on down the line, because I probably can't sell the truck for very much with a bad motor, and it's not worth anything sitting, so I might as well fix it probably at some point. I assume a lot of you guys would enjoy to see this truck on the channel, so that's another reason. I don't know, probably just another 6.9 or 7.3 in the truck if I find a low mileage good one. But this motor won't be working because there's a big old hole in the side of the block. So yeah, it'll run, but not well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And I'll probably make an update video on what I'll do with this before I do it, just to let you guys know. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it wasn't what I was hoping for the video to be. Didn't know it had a hole in the side of the block. And thank you for all the support, all the liking, subscribing, sharing. It's greatly helpful. And we'll catch you on the next one on Black Diesel Garage. See you guys. There's a hole in the block. As you can see, there's the spot where a rod goes and is not at the moment. So that concludes that. Nice.